European powers were a major influence in North America during the 17th century, playing key roles in the continent's exploration, colonization, and conflict. While the indigenous peoples had inhabited the land for thousands of years before, it was the arrival of Europeans that marked a turning point in American history. Today, we will look at how these countries invaded and influenced North America, and how their actions would change its destiny forever. But before we get started, be sure to stay tuned for more information on early North American history. Let's begin with the Spanish conquest of North America. Spain was the first European power to explore and conquer parts of North America, beginning in the early 16th century, driven by a desire for wealth and power. The Spanish crown sent conquistadors into the New World to find gold, silver, and other valuable resources. These expeditions resulted in the discovery of vast quantities of precious metals in areas like Mexico and Peru, which brought great wealth to Spain. However, this wealth came at a cost, as the conquistadors employed brutal tactics to subdue the native populations and extract their resources. Despite the brutality, the Spanish continued to explore and conquer new territories, establishing settlements and missions across North America. This conquest had a profound impact on the continent, leading to the displacement and enslavement of millions of indigenous people, as well as the introduction of new diseases that devastated native populations. Additionally, the Spanish colonial system had a lasting impact on the cultural and linguistic landscape of North America, with many place names and traditions still bearing witness to their presence today. In the early 17th century, however, the Spanish colonial empire in North America was still far from undisputed. Other European powers were eager to carve out their own pieces of the continent and challenge Spanish dominance. England, France, and the Dutch Republic all had their eyes on North America and began to explore and colonize the region. This growing competition led to conflicts between European powers as they sought to expand their territorial claims and protect their interests in the New World. For example, the Anglo-Spanish War of 1702 to 1713 saw England and Spain fighting over control of territories in North America. Similarly, the French and Indian War of 1754 to 1763 pitted France and its allies against Britain and its colonies in North America. These conflicts highlight the intense competition and rivalry that existed among European powers in North America during this period. Perhaps the most significant of these rivalries was between Spain and England, who clashed frequently over control of territory. For instance, both countries claimed the fertile lands around the mouth of the Mississippi River, leading to tensions and disputes. The English colony of Carolina also expanded westward, encroaching on Spanish Florida. These territorial disputes created a powder keg of conflict. In 1719, Spanish governor of Florida, the Baron de Zuniga, attempted to capture the English city of Charleston, but was defeated. This defeat humiliated the Spanish and increased tensions between the two powers. Determined to regain lost ground, the Spanish decided to invade the English colony of Carolina. They launched a surprise attack on the city of Charleston in 1720, but once again were defeated. These repeated failures frustrated the Spanish, and they sought to find another way to strike back at the English. They chose to target the English colony of Georgia, hoping to capture and destroy it. On June 1721, a Spanish fleet arrived off the coast of Georgia and landed near the city of Frederica, led by the Spanish governor of Cuba. The invading force consisted of about 800 men. Meanwhile, the English colony had only about 2,000 European settlers, supported by 5,000 indigenous allies. Despite being outnumbered, the English defended their colony fiercely. The Spanish invasion force quickly learned that capturing Georgia would not be an easy task. After weeks of failed attempts to take Frederica, the Spanish governor decided to retreat to his ships. Just as he was preparing to leave, news arrived of an impending storm. The Spanish fleet was caught in the storm and forced to abandon their landing party. Many of the Spanish soldiers drowned, while others were captured or killed. The remaining Spanish soldiers who managed to return to Cuba suffered greatly due to the lack of supplies and reinforcements. As a result, the Spanish invasion of Georgia was a humiliating failure for Spain. It demonstrated the strength of the English colony and the difficulty of invading and conquering an established settlement. Following this defeat, Spain shifted its focus to consolidating its existing colonies in North America rather than attempting further expansion. On the other hand, the English colony of Georgia survived and continued to grow, eventually becoming a prosperous and influential part of the British Empire. In retrospect, the Spanish invasion of Georgia proved to be a costly mistake. Spain had hoped to weaken and destroy the English colony, but instead emerged from the conflict even weaker itself. The invasion drained Spain's treasury, causing financial strain and economic hardship. Moreover, the loss of life and the destruction of supplies and equipment left Spain's military forces depleted and demoralized. The consequences of the Spanish invasion of Georgia were far-reaching and had a lasting impact on the course of North American history. The defeat of the Spanish invaders solidified the English colony's position in North America and paved the way for further expansion and development. In contrast, Spain's colonial ambitions in the region were effectively curtailed, leading to a diminished presence in North America. After suffering defeat in Georgia, Spain focused its efforts on strengthening its existing colonies in Florida and the Southwest. Spain realized that further attempts to conquer and expand its territory in North America would be too costly and difficult. Instead, it concentrated on fortifying its border colonies to protect them from encroachment by the English. This led to the construction of numerous missions, presidios, and pueblos along the frontier, which served as centers of population and trade for the Spanish colonial empire. As the French and Dutch began to establish their own colonies in North America, the competition for resources and land intensified. The French primarily established fur trading posts and alliances with various Native American tribes, while the Dutch focused on creating settlements and plantations. This competition led to conflicts over territory, resources, and trade routes. For example, the Dutch West India Company and the French explorer Samuel de Champlain explored and claimed large areas of land in North America, overlapping with British and Spanish claims. This competition contributed to the rivalry and tensions that would culminate in the 7 Years' War, a global conflict in which the British and French would ultimately compete for supremacy in North America. Despite these conflicts, European powers also cooperated and engaged in diplomacy at times. For example, the French and Dutch formed alliances with various Native American tribes to secure their interests and protect their colonies. Trade networks also connected European colonies in North America with those in the Caribbean, South America, and Europe itself, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and people. The impact of European colonization on indigenous populations was profound and often devastating. European diseases such as smallpox, measles, and influenza ravaged Native American populations who had no immunity to these illnesses. Colonization also led to the displacement and forced migration of indigenous peoples. As European settlements expanded and the competition for land and resources intensified. Furthermore, the introduction of new agricultural products, such as sugar and tobacco, transformed the labor landscape, leading to the enslavement and exploitation of African Americans in the colonies. In conclusion, the invasion of North America by European powers such as Spain, England, France, and the Netherlands had a profound and lasting impact on the continent's history and development. The competition and conflicts between these powers shaped the political boundaries, economies, and societies of North America. The struggle for dominance led to the displacement and subjugation of indigenous populations, as well as the introduction of African slavery. Ultimately, the colonial era set the stage for the American Revolution and the emergence of the United States as an independent nation. Understanding this period is crucial to comprehending the complexities of North American history and the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. We hope you enjoyed this video on the invasion of North America by European powers. If so, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more informative content. We would also appreciate any comments or suggestions you have for future videos. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.